This is a practice sheet for you to practice sketching vectors. We got three parts to it. Sketch vectors. Part A is 30 kilometers per hour, wind blowing from a bearing of 305 degrees. Part B is vector CD with direction as 30 degree west. Now I hope you remember how to read this. It is 30 degrees west of south. Remember that. 30 degrees west of south. So vector CD with direction 30 degrees west of south. Part C is unit vector A with direction 60 degrees north. Unit vector A with direction 60 degrees west of north, correct? So that is the third part. Now you need to sketch all the three. So make a sketch and then look into my suggestions. Here are my suggestions. So the first one, okay, so we'll make a small sketch here. It says 30 kilometers per hour, wind blowing from a bearing of 305. From a bearing of, correct? So that is kind of a critical statement. And when we say from, that means it is coming inwards from there, right? Now bearing is angle clockwise from north. So if this is our north, then clockwise we have to go 305 degrees. What is 305 degrees? Total is 360. So 360 minus what will give me 305, and that is 55, right? So 360 minus 305 will give us 55. So if I get 55 degrees from here, that angle, if I draw this, so that angle, let me write like this, from here to here should be 305 degrees. Do you understand? So that is 305 degrees. Now the second part to this is 30 kilometers per hour. Now 30 kilometers is the magnitude, and to represent the magnitude we should have a scale, right? So let's have a scale. So we'll define a scale here for us. Scale, let 1 centimeter equals to 10 kilometers per hour. That means 30 kilometers means 3 centimeters, right? So let's choose 3 centimeters on our scale. So let's say this is, so you have to really take a scale and then measure it, but I'm doing it approximately all these things for you. Now here it is, let's say 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter and 3 centimeter. So since the wind is blowing from a bearing of this, the direction will be inwards. Remember that, right? So we can draw this like this. So we can just connect this to the origin and say this is our vector, and we say, well, the wind velocity, that means V, equals to 30 kilometers per hour, right? So that is the vector which represents it. So the angle is here 305, magnitude is by the length of this arrow, which can be measured. 1 centimeter is 10 kilometers per hour, and this is 3 centimeters long, correct? That's how you represent it, right? So like this you can do other two questions. And what is unit vector? Unit vector will have magnitude of 1. So remember that. Unit vector has magnitude of 1. Another thing I want to remind you is how to read this. Since I see many times, it's very difficult. It is 30 degrees west of south. Once you read it properly, it will be simpler for you to sketch, right? So from south you have to deviate 30 degrees towards west, right? So now let me give you the answer here. "30 degrees west of south." So this is your south, right? You have to go towards west by 30 degrees. So let's say this is my 30 degrees, right? So that becomes the direction. Do you see that? And on this direction, if I use a scale of 1 centimeter equals to a vector CD with this. So there is no magnitude. So we'll just draw a vector. Right. So that's it. since the magnitude is not given to us, we'll just draw a vector and we say this is 30 degrees. So this becomes 30 degrees west of south. Do you see that? So that is how it is going to be. And the last one, we have unit vector. So unit vector means magnitude is 1, right? So you can write your scale first. So your scale here is 1 centimeter equals to 1 unit. Do you understand? That is your unit vector. And the direction is 60 degrees west of north, right? So let me utilize this graph itself and we say 60 degrees, it is from north, right, towards west. That's what it means. So from north, we'll see this is 60 degrees for us, let us say, and therefore we will have a unit vector. And as I said, this is my 1 centimeter. So I'll say this is it. That is my 1 centimeter, and this vector is vector A. So this is my vector A, correct? So that is how we are going to do. And this I did vector CD. Let me write CD here. Vector CD. So that is how you can sketch vectors. I know we have a couple of examples and that should have helped you to understand. And now let's move on with some more vector operations. Thanks and all the best.